Has India's greatest business empire lost its way? Let me ask you a question. When was the last time Tata shocked the world? Not impressed the world, not expanded, not acquired something, not announced another investment. I mean, genuinely shocked the world. Because there was a time when every generation of Tata leadership changed India's future. They built India's first luxury hotel. They built India's steel industry. They launched India's first airline. They created India's first IT revolution. They bought Jaguar Land Rover when nobody thought an Indian company could. For over a century, Tata didn't follow history, they made it. But today, I have a controversial question. Has the Tata Group stopped dreaming? Tata may be losing the very thing that made it legendary. Tata might become a private company that behaves like a government entity the Congress ran. The Tata spirit is going away. And if that's true, then India's greatest business empire has a problem. To understand why I'm worried, you first have to understand why Tata became great. Let's go back to 1903. India was still a British colony. Most Indians weren't thinking about competing with the world. Jamsetji Tata was. He built Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Mumbai. Not because India needed another hotel, because he wanted to prove Indians could build something world class. And that wasn't a business decision, that was a civilizational statement. Then came Tata Steel. Dorabji Tata took his father's dream and turned it into a reality. At a time when British believed Indians couldn't industrialize, Tata built steel plants. Steel, the foundation of modern civilization. Then came J.R.D. Tata. In 1932, he launched India's first commercial airline. Think about that. The chairman himself flew the first flight. Imagine that. Imagine the chairman of a Fortune 500 company personally flying the first aircraft. That wasn't management. That was vision. That was courage. That was leadership. Then came TCS, the company that helped create India's IT industry. TCS is the second largest employer after the Indian Railways in India. The company that convinced the world Indian engineers could compete globally. Every great Tata leader built something India didn't have. Every generation pushed boundaries. Every generation attempted the impossible. And then everything changed. The Chandrasekhar era. In 2017, Natarajan Chandrasekharan became chairman, the first non Tata family professional executive to lead the empire. Now, let me be clear, Chandrasekharan is not incompetent. In fact, he is probably one of the best managers India has ever produced. But that is exactly the problem. Tata was never built by managers. Tata was built by dreamers, by visionaries, by nation builders. And Chandrasekharan is a great manager, but a horrible visionary. And that brings us to the uncomfortable question. Is Chandrasekharan managing Tata or leading it? Because those are not the same things. Let's start with the elephant in the room, TCS, the company that made Chandrasekharan famous. TCS was a brilliant success story, but here's the uncomfortable truth. TCS helped build the IT industry. It did not define the future of technology. Think about this. India's largest technological company, one of the largest IT companies on earth, yet how many people can name a revolutionary global product created by TCS? Microsoft gave us Windows, Google gave us search, Apple gave us the iPhone and personal computing. OpenAI gave us ChatGPT. Nvidia gave us the AI revolution. What did TCS give us? What did TCS give the world? The tag that India is the best place for back-end IT jobs and essentially skilled laborers. This is where many Indians get emotional because we confuse size with innovation. But did it become transformative? Or did it become the world's most successful supplier of technical labor? And today, AI is reshaping the world. The biggest technological revolution since the internet. And where is Tata? Where is India's biggest technological company? Where is India's AI giant? Where is India's OpenAI? Where is India's Nvidia? The company that helped create Indian IT should have been leading this revolution. Instead, it feels like it's watching it happen. The Air India gamble. This was supposed to be the Tata's comeback story. The return of the airline J.R.D. Tata founded, an emotional restoration of a national icon. And to be fair, the ambition was extraordinary, but reality has been brutal. Operational issues, customer complaints, huge capital requirement, integration challenges, leadership changes, public scrutiny, and then the unimaginable, the tragic crash that shook the country. Buying headlines is easy, transformation is hard. And today, Air India remains a massive challenge, not a triumph, at least not yet, and definitely not under Chandrasekharan. Now, here's a big concern. The old Tata created industries. The new Tata seems to enter industries after everyone already knows they're important. Semiconductors, batteries, AI, electronics, these are good bets, necessary bets, but they feel reactive, not revolutionary. The old Tata asked, what does India need 20 years from now? The new Tata sometimes feels like it's asking, what is everyone investing in right now? Kind of like a vibe investor. That difference matters because leaders shape the future, followers adapt to it. And Tata was never supposed to be a follower. It is not in its DNA. Now, here's a part that all Tata supporters will love. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe 20 years from now, people will laugh at this video. Maybe Chandrasekharan's semiconductor investment becomes India's biggest industrial success. Maybe Air India becomes one of the world's best airlines. Maybe Tata Electronics becomes a global giant. Maybe Tata builds India's answer to Nvidia. Maybe this is the beginning of another golden age. And if that happens, I will happily admit I was wrong because nobody should want Tata to fail. India needs Tata. But here's the reality, great institutions don't die because they become bad. They die because they become comfortable and complacent, because they stopped dreaming, because they start protecting their legacy instead of creating a new one, instead of moving forward. The question isn't whether Tata is successful. Of course it is. The question is whether Tata is still ambitious enough. Is Tata still the company that built steel plants, airlines, and software empires? Or is it becoming the company that simply manages them? That question will define the next 20 years of Indian business, and maybe the future of India itself. So tell me in the comments, am I completely wrong? Is Chandrasekharan building the next great Tata era? Or has Tata lost the spirit that made it legendary? If you found this honest discussion about power, business, and economics interesting, don't forget to subscribe.